Update: my ex-boyfriend said he was gonna propose for the last 4 years. When I finally found the courage to break it off, he did. I don't know if I should give it another chance. Original post: we started dating in 9th grade after he asked me out at winter formal in 2012, 26 female and 27 male. We went as friends, but quickly hit it off and were together by New Year's. From there, we hit a lot of milestones fast, and honestly, we both figured we'd be married by 2017 to 2018. The excuse at the time was, we're young and still in school. I finished college in 3 years, him in 4. We both have our dream jobs and a combined income of $144,000 per year. We have loans, but none of them are atrocious, and we lived in a home he inherited. That said, our life felt perfect by the time I was 22. That's when he started randomly inquiring about my ring size, dream wedding, whether I like gold or silver jewelry more, etc. 22 went by with no engagement. No big deal. 23 comes and it's the same thing. I'm thinking it's any day now. 24 passes and the conversation becomes tiring. I started asking what he was waiting for. He claimed the right moment hasn't come yet. It took me until age 25 to realize he often used the promise to do it when I was upset at him for something. By 26, I told myself that he had until he turned 27. His birthday was closer. After that, I'd walk away. I got my own space ahead of time and followed through. The separation was peaceful. He didn't protest much, if at all. Last week, about 2 months later, he showed up at my place. We had shared locations a couple of years back and just never turned them off. I completely forgot about it. I wasn't creeped out or anything once he explained how he found me. After some catching up, he pulled out the box, all while sitting on the couch across from me. It wasn't the romantic on-one-knee proposal, and I can't help but feel I forced his hand. This feels like a "here damn" more than anything else. He says I'm overthinking and that he didn't realize what he had until he lost it. He claims he never knew marriage was that important to me. I kind of want to get back with him, but I don't want him to resent me and later say he was forced to get married or anything. Now for the top advice before reading the update. He used the promise of marriage to manipulate you during fights. That's a huge red flag. If it's not the promise of marriage, it'll be something else. You've been dating for almost half your life. You don't know what other relationships are like. Hell, you barely know what you're like by yourself. Spend some time being a single person for a while and get to know yourself. You'll be better off for it. Was thinking of going to the cafe by myself for the first time today. Enjoy. You're going to have so much fun finding out who you are, doing things solely because you want to. It's scary sometimes, and you'll need some good friends to avoid getting too lonely, but it's 100% worth it. Don't jump into another relationship. Wait and figure yourself out and what you want. The right person will recognize everything you've invested in yourself and fall head over heels. But don't worry about that. Just do you. It's called a shut-up ring. Look it up. He didn't marry you because he didn't want to. He still doesn't. But the time apart has made him realize he can't do any better, so he came back and proposed. He's also smart enough to know that no one with self-esteem will put up with his lies and fake promises. So he's willing to settle for now. But the moment he actually likes someone else, he'll be out, because you were never more than a placeholder to begin with. Why would you even consider getting back with someone like this? I don't know. Honestly, I've known him since I was 10, dated him for half my life. I know this is embarrassing, and I'm trying to just move on. It's just that my common sense and feelings aren't on the same accord. AOP, I'm in a similar situation. Met my partner at 10, dating by 9th grade. It was, and still can be, really hard. You get stuck in your kid mindset, and it's harder to grow up because all your vices of childhood are still there with you. We got through our tough times and helped each other grow up through a lot of heartache and stress, but only out of financial necessity. Had kids, poverty, and no family support outside of each other. I would never have wished it on a peer. Personally, I know a partner like this feels special, and it is hard to lose a family member like that. But if I were you, I'd take some time to think and consider the pros and cons. Ask yourself what advice you would give to your daughter or sister. I won't say you should leave him immediately, because maybe he still does value you and just has hang-ups about marriage that you can work to understand before you make a final decision. I definitely had hang-ups. But also consider that this is mostly hard because it's easy to get stuck in codependency and the sunk cost fallacy when you grow up together. Thank you for this perspective. You're certainly correct about struggling with memories, etc. Now for the update. Hi all. Earlier today, I made a post asking how I should navigate this situation. A short summary would be that my boyfriend of almost 13 years and I separated after the idea of marriage was dangled in my face for 4 to 5 years. We remained separated for 2 months before he suddenly reached out, proposing. Many suggested I wait, but I already knew what the correct choice was. A lot of hard truths being pointed out to me made it hard to ignore. That said, I had the ring. I never told him yes, rather I don't know, but he insisted I keep it. Given that I decided I needed to move on, I wanted to meet so that I could give him his ring back. He agreed at first, but was insistent on it being at either my place or his. I was already at the park with the ring in my car and just wanted a neutral meeting place, so I said no. He argued that it must not be that important then. So I said, okay, I'll give the ring to your mom when I have the chance. He didn't agree to meet, but this did make him FaceTime me, so we spoke that way. I was okay with that. The call started with him trying to negotiate a meeting location for a moment or two. Once he gave up, I told him I had questions about our breakup period. He told me I live in the past, but quickly backtracked when I said, okay, never mind, and attempted to hang up. He told me I wouldn't like the answer to some stuff, and he was right. He admitted that he saw 4 women during the 2 months, 2 of them being a threesome. He claimed to have wanted that experience before marrying me. He also said that he felt inferior to me in recent years because of how put together I am, as if he's much different. I was in shock. I'd spent these last 2 months alone, trying to heal, while he was having threesomes. It hurt, but it felt more like disgust than betrayal. Not because of the activity, but because he thought he could just come back when he was done having fun. He asked me to come back to his place. He said the kids, 2 goldfish, miss me. I told him that I can't get back with him. I need to experience something new just like he did. He's all I've ever known, but saying this upset him and might have given me some real insight into how he felt. He called me selfish, saying I'm always thinking about myself. He brought up a time I went to the gym on his birthday, early in the morning, before proceeding to spend all day with him. He said I constantly make unilateral decisions, like this one. He accused me of being with another guy and said that's why I don't want him to come over. I should have hung up earlier. My choice was already made. Once he realized I was set on not rekindling things, he was only looking to hurt my feelings. My father offered to return the ring so that I don't have to, and I've been advised to call the police if he shows up at my place again. Despite this, I feel good. I got some answers and saw what happened when he didn't get his way. Again, I appreciate the advice. I read your original post, and although I did not comment on that post, I was rooting for you to make the right decision in moving forward. Your ex is quite a piece of work. He showed you the snake that he always has been. I am so proud of you for staying strong. I really hope you have a good support system to help you heal from this. Especially with him being your first, you're going to have your moments. But keep moving forward, one step and one day at a time. Do not look back, and definitely call the police should he ever approach you in any way or come to your home again. I really hope that you have disconnected the app so he no longer has access to your location. Get a restraining order if you have to, should he give you a difficult time. He is cruel, and he's the one who's selfish. Someone here made a comment and suggestion about writing a note to yourself about your final conversation with him and how he made you feel. Keep that. I think it's a great suggestion to remind you, in your moments when you feel down or hesitant about your breakup, exactly how big a bullet you dodged. You deserve so much better, and I wish you the best in everything you do. I turned off the location that same day. His meanness helped me really double down on my choice. I never imagined he would do this, though I'm also not surprised. You sound like you have a great head on your shoulders. Honestly, girl, he's such a prick, and I'm sorry that it hurts. I know everyone is going to say you deserve better, and you do, but remember that it's also okay to be mad or sad about it. Even if he ever does grow up, he wasted your time, energy, feelings, and respect. Cheers to when this becomes just a funny story. Thank you so much. Definitely sad, but the time will pass and life goes on. Next story. My husband is ending our marriage because we weren't intimate as often as he wanted, and so far, it isn't going like he planned, and I'm not surprised, but I am hurt. My husband, 37 male, and I, 34 female, have been together for 6 years, married for 3. We have had a very happy relationship. Even he says so. We share a lot of hobbies and get along extremely well. We never fight, only have disagreements sometimes. We split the chores evenly, contribute to bills proportionally, and generally like doing all the same things for entertainment. What's the problem then? This doesn't sound like the typical Reddit post of, "He's really great except for how horrible he is," because it isn't. He's truly a great partner and a kind, thoughtful person. The problem is a difficult but common one: sex. He wasn't getting it as often as he would have liked, and I don't mean we had a dead bedroom. We were having sex once a week. I was making sure of it because he had expressed these concerns before. When we started dating, I knew we were going to have mismatched libidos. Mine is pretty low and has been an issue in some previous relationships. I'm pretty neutral on sex and could go months without it and be perfectly fine. And before anyone says anything, no, it isn't a hormonal problem. I've been to doctors, and it isn't because I've never had good sex. I have. This is just how I am. He didn't seem to mind, in the beginning anyway. Over time, he seemed to get a bit more frustrated with it, so we talked about it and, as a compromise, decided that sex would happen once a week. I could handle that much, and that's what's been happening until a few months ago when he said he was still feeling frustrated and really wanted it every other day or a few times a week. I said I couldn't do that. That's why we went to once a week, because that's what I can handle. He said he didn't think he could be happy like that. After 6 years. It took you 6 years and getting married to figure that out. And here we are now, separated. Him moved out. See, it was my house we were living in, the one I bought before I met him. It's also my pets we were living with, the ones I had before I met him. We had a happy home and a happy little family. No kids yet, but we were talking about it. Now half his things are in storage because he has a few hobbies that take up a lot of space, and he can't fit everything into the tiny apartment he had to get. He had to sell his antique car because he couldn't park it at his new place, and I wouldn't let him keep it here. He's also complaining about money now because I make more than twice what he makes, and I was paying more than half of the bills. I'm not sure if he started looking to date. I told him I didn't care if he did while we were getting the divorce going. I know he wasn't cheating, he was very loyal, so there's no other woman he had on the line already. I'm sure he'll sort it out and get settled eventually, but for now, he lives alone in a cramped apartment that doesn't allow pets, with almost none of the things that he did for fun and getting no sex at all because once a week wasn't good enough. Are you kidding? Don't get me wrong, I'm taking no pleasure in it, but it's just kind of funny to me. Like, you picked this, and now you're miserable. I've spent the last few months being devastated and upset beyond belief, and I'm starting to pick myself up now and realize how ridiculous the situation actually is. He's a really good person, but maybe kind of an idiot. I don't think he's an idiot. Mismatched sex drives are a deal breaker for a lot of people. Splitting up is never easy, but money is not a reason to stay. I think people think they can cope with less sex. They're carried away with love, but then years later realize it's not enough. I'm on the other side of this. I left my husband for similar reasons, except in my case it was basically no sex. I would have happily taken a once-a-week deal, but I can understand how if you have a really high sex drive, it might still not be enough. Sex is part of health, and for me, while yes, right now I also don't have sex because I'm not ready to date yet, I know I will have a different relationship in the future where I will be cherished and desired physically. And that's a good choice for me. So I don't think he's an idiot. He's doing what he feels he needs to do in order to be happy in the long run. The low sex drive people will never understand what we high sex drive people are missing. I've only had one relationship in my life where I felt understood and our sex drives aligned. It honestly scares me about ever finding someone I can be at peace with. Last story. I am considering leaving my husband over keeping a lock on one of our doors and refusing to open it. Hi everyone. Very sad to be posting this, but I, 20 female, am considering separating from my husband, 33 male of 5 years, over a big issue we just had a couple of days ago. My husband has always cared about his things, and he puts all his valuables in his office, where he works remotely 3 days a week. He put a lock on the outside of the office door 6 months ago to supposedly keep his things safe from our destructive toddler. I let it go but found it a bit odd since the key is usually nowhere to be found. Anyway, I recently went into the office to get our bird's perch out of the room, and he was hovering, acting really suspicious. He defensively said, "What do you need in there?" And I said, "The bird's perch." But then instantly felt he was hiding something from me. I also noticed he locked the door after that. After we put our toddler to sleep, I told him I needed to go in the room to change the sheets on our guest mattress because we have visitors soon. He was acting defensive again and said he would do it another time. That's when I said, "What are you hiding in there? You're getting really defensive, and it's weird that I'm locked out of a space in my own home and have to ask permission to enter." He got more defensive until I eventually said, "You need to unlock the door and let me see what's in there because you're hiding something." Long story short, he admitted to hiding weed in the room and playing video games when I go to sleep. But he refused to open the door. I told him I was going to sit by the door until he unlocked it, because I thought he was hiding something worse since those things aren't that big of a deal. You guys, he literally refused. I tried begging. I tried getting the lock open. I tried everything I could think of. Not only would he not unlock the door, but he was gaslighting me the entire time, telling me I'm crazy and it must be my pregnancy hormones making me think there was something else in there. He said that if he opened the door, he would be giving in to my pushiness. He also kept touching my leg and telling me he was sorry I was going through this, like I was making all of this up in my head. Unfortunately, I got too tired around 2 a.m. Keep in mind I'm pregnant and having to deal with this, and told him I was going to sleep. And whatever he was hiding in there, he could get rid of it in the morning. But I was done. In the morning, the room was perfectly staged with his little weed pen out and switch game. He has since changed the lock on the door to a normal one that only locks when someone is in the room, but still seems to see no problem with what he has done. He is still adamant that it is perfectly normal to lock a door from the outside if you have important things in there. He also said there was nothing else in there and he just couldn't for the life of him let me in after I said we needed to go through his stuff. He said that was controlling behavior and that giving in would mean saying that was okay. I guess what I'm asking is it normal to put a lock on an office door, especially on the outside? Would separation be the best next step? I have a toddler and a baby coming, and I really don't want to have to do this alone if I don't need to. Yeah, he was hiding something in there. If you're lucky, it's something he's just embarrassed by, that he doesn't want to share. But if it's not that, I'd guess hard drugs or a porn habit that's borderline cheating, since apparently he needs somewhere private to indulge. You could try asking him for a drug test to see how he responds. I was thinking porn habit that's a bit on the illegal side. I would flat out tell him, if you're not telling me the truth, I'm going to assume it's child porn and will act accordingly. I actually did bring up CP because of how crazy this was to me. What are you hiding that is so bad that you refuse to open the door, even if I threaten a divorce?